Good morning. It's early. And this morning, I am going to be working on the sketchbook page in front of me. It is a maple tree and an anatomical heart, or it will be. It's not officially there yet. So I'm going to try a slightly different technique than I usually use today, which is lining with a color. People are always asking about lining with a color in tattooing, and so I figured it'd be a good idea to try it with watercolor. And I saw an illustrator that I really like, Heather from Mysterious Others on Instagram. You can find her there. Mysterious Others. She introduced me to a new illustrator that I thought was really cool. So, yeah. This is definitely going to be more of a like me happy painting. And you're welcome to ask me questions and stuff. I did pull up the chat box, but I am going to be painting. It's not a how-to or anything like that. I think I'm going to be saving those for Wednesdays. This is more of an I want to continue the process and the habit of streaming. And it's early in the morning, so I've had coffee, now I'm on to tea. But I'm not quite all the way awake, if that makes any sense. Okay, so pink, we're going to do pink today. This is Series 7, Winston & Newton 3-liner. I love this brush. I use it all the time. When you are doing sketchbook work, after you've done your initial sketch, start left and move down. In tattooing, I start here and I move up. So, with it. I have music going on in the background. The guys say it doesn't attach to the stream, which is kind of cool. I'm wanting to attach music to the stream for stuff like this when I want to just be painting, and not be worried about random people who come along and being bored by watching me doodle. But like just chilling and painting is something that's really important to me for my own mental health. So I think for a lot of people it really could be a very, very useful thing. It's morning time. We had salmon last night, and Dirt is my puppy. He's adorable. He's a Chihuahua. But we had made salmon, and so this morning he got delicious salmon skin. He was very happy about the choices we made. I don't really believe in dogs getting human food. So when he gets stuff, it's dog approved. I had a really delightful and interesting... I've been having a lot of interesting relationship conversations lately, and it's really been nice. I like relationships, and I like people who have interesting relationships. Up here. I've been listening to the Billie Eilish radio, and God, she's depressing, but also I really like her voice. I like her little attitude. Her and Royal and Jessie Reyes, though she just came out with a bunch of new stuff. And I am so surprised. Actually, I want to change it to Jessie Reyes this morning, but older Jessie Reyes, not So see how this color is coming through? It's really interesting. And this is a really specific watercolor experience. Dark, lighter, right? So for me to continue that process, I need to darken, because this is dark too. You can dab it. You can actually, tattooing has some of this too. You pull from what you have, which is interesting. You wouldn't think of that, right? So what I'm doing is I'm pretty much creating like a highly pigmented wash and using that. This is the first time I'm trying this style. When you're making art, you know, I'm going to say this over and over again on my channel. Get a fucking sketchbook. Like, fill it. I have hundreds of sketchbooks. I love them. They're my friends, you know? Like, they're places to let your heart out and just let it cascade across a page and have it not matter so much. So just fill your sketchbooks. Get a sketchbook and fill it. You're in quarantine. Fucking fill that shit. You know? I mean, I'm in quarantine and I'm hanging out with a teeny tiny human. It's not that tiny. His brother is tiny. He's like gonna be 4 soon. And I'm still filling sketchbooks. So if you're bored, fill a sketchbook. As well as painting helps you emotionally process. Or it helps a lot of people I know emotionally process. So I really believe in art as a way for healing, you know? Okay, we're changing it for reals to Jessie Reyes now. So listen to Jessie Reyes's, if you're gonna like hear words I'm talking about and decide that you want to decide that you want to hear Jessie Reyes. Grab her Jessie Reyes, yep. Jessie Reyes Radio, please, and thank you. Oh, she's got, so like her new ones? No. Coffin, imported? No. Watch Figures. Watch Gonna Be a Great One. Oh god, do you love her? I should have fucked your friends. Maybe not. Maybe I have to look this shit up. Don't want to watch the new one. Just click on her, maybe. Okay, we're gonna leave it, but we'll see. Yeah, it's like the industry got to her a little bit. It always gets to all of us, you know. People talk about selling out, but that's not, selling out just means making money and people are noticing you. Like, don't be a fucking dick about people making money. Like, we all need money, yo. I'm sorry you're still like working for something you don't like. You know, let people work for what they like. So, I think being true to yourself is really useful. You know, I think it's a really healthy thing. And I also think all of us have to make money. I don't know why a singer who's doing what she loves, even if she's singing like songs that I don't approve of, I'm like you're just fucking all his friends because, you know, like, no, that sounds weird. Don't fuck your buddy's friends. Go have sex with somebody else. You're gonna be so much happier. But like, when people talk about that selling out, they're just saying they're making money, you know? And making money is a good thing. As a creative, there's a lot of this, what is it? It's this, concept that money and art and creativity shouldn't go together and that there's something wrong with money. There's a lot wrong with greed, y'all. Like being greedy and not generous and not caring. Like, no, but relationships with money are complex and we all gotta make it, yo. And maybe not after this quarantine. Who knows what will happen? Maybe we'll be dealing in art. If we are, that would be great. But like, a lot of you are reaching out and supporting independent artists, and that's fucking incredible. I'm really pleased with the way that people are interacting and connecting, and like just people reaching out and like prepaying for their tattoos and stuff like that with artists and buying illustrations. And it's really, really lovely to see people telling artists that they value their art, because what art actually is in my mind, in my mind. So like, let's keep it there. We have to locate, because I'm like a queer white woman who paints and illustrates and hangs out with kids and tattoos. So I have a significant amount of privilege around my creation of art. I've always, like, I support myself. So it's not, I'm not very good at writing grants and things like that yet. Still working on it. I'm really good at just working. That's like what I have on lockdown. But there is still privilege that comes from like the fact that I'm like kind and I'm good at people and I have a nice face and stuff like that. So there's things like that. So that's where the place I'm coming from when I'm talking about what art is. But I think a lot of artists would agree with me. Art is a culture maker. Like, we see what we see and we reflect it back to other people, and that's kind of our task. It's that, the task of the jester in like a monarchy is to tell the king when he got egg on his face or when the emperor isn't wearing any clothes, right? Like, that's the point. And that's what artists do. Like, that we reflect back where things are really wrong and flawed, and we also make options for different things. Like, you can't have a new world, or it seems really difficult to have a new world without imagining what that world would be like. And what does your ideal world look like? What does your world look like? Mine involves painting in the mornings. I wake up early so I can do this, and I've been doing this for years. Not on camera, this actually takes a lot of time. It takes about, now I'm getting good at it, so it takes like half an hour to set up. But previously to that, it's been like an hour and a half, just before painting. And then live streaming takes, to do a sketchbook baseline, if I'm not talking and I'm just focused on it, takes a couple hours. And that's not with dry time and things. So this song is really dumb. It's got a beat though. See me bouncing? Definitely next. Jesus, next. Also, no, let's do Great One. Okay, so Great One by Jessie Reyes is the one that I want. Period. Like, period. My nose itches today. I think there might be something in the air. Figures is also pretty good. And Don't Tell Me About Your Body Count. I love that one. But it came out when I was entering a new relationship a couple of years ago. It was perfect. So I was like, let's just not like talk about all of our exes. Can we skip that? And we did, and it worked. We didn't do our trauma stories. We didn't talk about all our exes till later. It was great, actually. We agreed on it, though. We were like, let's mutually not do this, Figures. Exactly what you did hurt you back. It's also Jessie Reyes is some like very serious breakup music with my ex. We were living together, and it's so weird that she's my ex. We were together for like a decade, and it's still pretty fresh. And she's been my muse for like a really long time. But we would like sing Jessie Reyes to each other over the last few years when we were like trying to figure out how the fuck to break up. You. She's really got it. She's got one of those voices. Like, I know this is a bad comparison for other people because this is so specifically resonant for me and for my life. But when I was a teenager, I met this woman, and I hadn't heard the word lesbian yet. Like, I was raised in a cult, and like, girls who like girls was not a thing. This kid was a girl who likes girls. Just didn't know that that was a thing. I just thought I really liked my friends, which I do really like my friends, to be real. But this woman came along, and this woman does not have a voice like Jessie Reyes. But there's something in the way that she sings that reminds me of her. And this girl was the sister of a friend of mine, and she was just gorgeous. She was Pacific Islander, short. She was short. She was hot, you know, definitely like high level of hot for me specifically. And her family did capoeira together, which is like, yes, I'm all about people being connected, especially people dance fighting with their family. That sounds amazing. And as a teenager, I mean, she was, and so I like met her on my 17th birthday, and she petted my hair and she sang to me, and I was infatuated. And she would do this. She would call me. We would write letters. We've had not right now. We're at different points in our lives and in different places. But we had like a very romantic friendship, I would say. I've had a lot of romantic friendships. I think that they're really beautiful, honestly. I think when we are supported outside of our primary partnership, that it offers, honestly, I think it offers enhanced connection to our primary partners. And to my primary partners, I mean like your like main sexual partner who you hang out with. And I know that people like are on and off. I've been poly for most of my adult life, so I've had more than one person that I hang out with and sleep with. But I'm kind of hierarchically, how do you say that word? My polyamory, it comes in a hierarchy. I have like a primary partner, and then I often have like a girlfriend, you know, and then there's like old lovers that have come in and out of my life depending on where we're at, what's happening, but we're like really good friends. You're like really good friends. And they'll show up for me if I need them, and I'll show up for them if they need me. But and then there's like romantic friends, right? Like friends that you write letters with, you love, you snuggle, you hang out with, you do all of the things. You don't have sex. You've never had sex. I mean, you can have had sex and come back. But so I've always been, I don't know, like people are like, why have you been poly? And I'm like, because it was really hard. I felt like I needed to grow as a person, and I can be really possessive. And I'm and I can be easily wounded. You know, I'm pretty sensitive with stuff. And I didn't want to be like that. You know, I don't think that sex is the end all of intimacy. I think that it's incredibly intimate to collaborate with a person. You make music with them. It's super intimate to cook dinner with somebody, you know? Like, so for me, encouraging engaged and connected intimacy was always like a good idea for me and for other people. And I always thought it was important for me to choose to evolve, I guess, as a person. And right now, I'm not sure that that's what I want to be doing. My last relationship, the one that has just recently ended, was poly. We were poly. And I think if we'd shut it down and been monogamous for some periods of time, that would have been useful. And people go on and off. I think that when I think about what I would like in my future, I keep coming back to the phrase like monogamish. You know, like mostly with one person. And at the same time, I think I don't want to limit people. I want to feel safe sexually, you know, like I don't want to have to, like the idea of not getting tested on a regular basis and not being like, hey, so don't fluid bond with that person sounds awesome. That sounds really great. It sounds really nice to not be constantly worrying about that, you know what I mean? Because me trying to control my environment is a big thing. Like I try to control my environment. That's real. And I want to not have to do that anymore. So that's my main reason for wanting to be done with poly. But at the same time, I think that people are sexual beings, and I'm not necessarily anti people I'm with and care about continuing to sleep with each other occasionally. Which is funny, isn't it? I'm like, huh. But yeah. So, figures. You ain't got to tell me about your body count. I don't want to know your ex's names. Ooh. Oof. Are you drunk enough? Are you high enough to excuse that I'm ruined? What the fuck am I listening to? I'm listening to Promises with Sam Smith, which we are skipping, and we're going to Great One by Jessie Reyes, because no. Great One. Great One. $1 million. But counting on the day ones. Great One. Oh, the whole point of that. Dollars. What you pray for was because this woman that I met when I was at boarding school, cult, remember, raised in a cult. We got boarding schools. That's where you send, all the adolescents to indoctrinate them. I don't know that it worked because I was in a school with a bunch of women, and like I was like, man, I might be gay, and everybody else knew. Like everyone knew. I was so oblivious in high school. You know what I was? I was like this queer little artist. Like I drew nudes all the time, and wrote poetry, and had no idea. It's just what I did. So everybody else knew, and I didn't know. People weren't really mean to me though. Whenever people have been like, "Whoa, you're weird," I've always been like, "Thank you," and like been really happy about it. Like, "Oh, you noticed." So like, I got that out of my system early. You know what I mean? Up, faded. What is love? I did have my first boyfriend there. He was. Is it slanderous to talk about your like? What are the rules about talking about your exes online? I'm not sure we were like exes per se. Anyways, first real boyfriend was there. He was a cutie pie. And he was such a weird little dude. It was great. He was tiny. Good kisser. Like, really good kisser. Weird guy. I really enjoyed him. And then we were like, no. Because, duh. I think he got kicked out for smoking weed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Got married to a cute little girl. And they had a lot of issues. I'm pretty sure if you don't mention the name, you can talk about shit, right? I think he has kids. It's amazing how many heterosexual people, they just get together and kids happen. It's like breeding's a thing. I like kids. I want kids at some point. I don't know if I'll ever make enough money. My original goal, my original thought was $30,000 a year. And I think my amount of money I need for kids has gone up. Cute. This is cool. I'm having fun with this pink. It's nice. It's like, it's a good sign. When something feels good, keep trying it. Mm. Friend and I were talking about our sex music. Y'all get sex music? Because I definitely do. It's like she introduced me to one of her people. What were their names? I don't have it, but I liked it. It was like slow, but it had good beats, but it also was just like, like that. Like that's really good. Painting music is everything. Like sometimes I like have to paint to Tribe Called Red. Have you heard them? They're kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. My my I need a different word. Like I don't want to call her my ex-wife. I don't want to call her my ex. I guess I could just call her herself. But also don't want to be, you know. I don't know what to call her yet. You know, because we're divorced now. That's a thing. We did the divorce thing. And I'm not sure how to process about it still. I'm working that out. I like went and found a therapist, and of course the pandemic happened. How many other people, I wonder, just got divorced and like moved their exes across the country, and then the pandemic hit? Because that's like a weird thing to have happen. Like, but I'm kind of like, I wouldn't. And normally this is stuff like, this is normally stuff that I just like, if I'm painting or something like that, I normally tap her into this stuff, and I really don't want to right now. I really don't want. You know, you need space after stuff is funky, but she was like my main collaborator. We made really strange and interesting art, and I haven't been making art because of it. You know, like I am having to get back into it. I mean, I've been tattooing and doing like illustrations and things like that, but I haven't been making art. This actually counts as art. In the sketchbook, do you see it has feel? It's got this watery, emotive aspect just with the way that the lines are working out. And that counts as art because that's, for me, it's all about processing, you know, like letting things coming through. So I need a teeny tiny liner. And also, I mean, it's hard, y'all. It's hard to get divorced. It does feel harder than a breakup, you know? Like you spend 10 years of your life with somebody, you love them. And I mean, I think other people, when they're getting divorced, are just like hateful about things. And I don't feel hateful. I feel mournful. I feel like I've been sad for a while about how stuff worked out. You know, like when you're in a relationship and it ain't working. Everybody knows. You know, not the other people around you. Like, I went to our pet store the other day because that's an essential thing, and I have a dog. And one of the people in there was like, "Oh, how is she? What are you guys doing? Did you get back from New Orleans?" And I'm like, "I left her in New Orleans." And they're like, "Oh, when is she coming back?" And I'm like, "She's not coming back." And they're like, And I'm like, no, 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 this is a thing. This is like on purpose. And they were like, "Oh God," you know. I'm like, "No, we're really friendly. It's okay." You know, just like, it's so interesting to feel as if the world would need to be sheltered from my emotions. You know what I mean? Like that makes no sense to me, but it seems real. As far as stuff goes. Oh, also this texture I'm doing right now, this can be done in tattooing, but it takes like way more work. And it's way easier to just let it be an illustration thing. Tattooing's about clean lines. And for me, tattooing is about clean lines and like high contrast and conveying things. I'm learning that it's about conveying things from a distance. Like, boom. This has enough that you could, if I was going to tattoo this though, I'd probably rotate the heart. So it's obviously tree, anatomical heart underneath it, you know? Roll it, you're lucky I didn't blow your brains out. Okay. But because it's an illustration, people can like, yeah. I should totally draw one like that. That'd be fun. Whiskey, bet that you'll miss me, no doubt. Anyways, I found a therapist. And he was like a therapist who takes you on walks outside, which sounded really great because when I'm emotive, I need to paint or I need to move, and usually both is a real thing. And so I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna be the thing. Then everything shut down. In dreams was seeing red. I don't really feel like that one should be. I think it should be a different color. Okay, we're gonna try a little orange now. Ready for some orange? Your thoughts too bad. Brains out. And whiskey, bet that you'll miss me. Okay, so don't go over the top of a piece like I'm doing. Don't do that. Rotate it. Just take the time and rotate it. That's how a bunch of shitty, dumb accidents happen. But with illustration, anything can become a really cool idea. You know? That's another reason for sketchbooks too, is it has that like, you fuck it up, it's okay. Know that you can stop and restart things. It's not something I employ often enough, Like I'm like, interesting painting with the camera because I can see. So usually what I do is I'll take photographs to see what's happening next, but I can look at this and see like this part right here. Like it needs, I don't know, like that. See it? Mm-hmm. My way of doing trees is highly stylized. I love trees. They're one of my like main thing I paint. I just love them. Actually, I haven't done any tree flash. I was starting to feel like doing some flash. I think this has been really useful for me to just like get to goof off and hang out with friends of mine while I live stream. Didn't even know that could be a thing. So cool, the random shit we like discover when we're stuck in boredom. It's like an artist residency is what it feels like to me, is what I'm doing. It's like I've cultivated myself an artist residency where the art is showing the fuck up. And I get that. Like, I can do that. It's less about the finished product this time and more about just showing up. Consistency is something I can struggle with. And I was thinking about that, and the universe is like, hey, guess what? You have time now. Like, oh, well, I guess I do. Like, practice consistency. Like, oh, like, really? And they're like, mm-hmm. And everybody bored, so they might actually watch you do stuff. I'm like, okay. Okay, I'll try the thing. Hilarious, a live stream residency. It's great. I like that idea a lot. Okay, so this is gonna have to dry. It's getting closer, like I could work on top of some of it, but because I'm doing an experiment, I want it to be dry. It is not talking of love, but living in love. That is everything. That was on my tea this morning. Oh, cool. Put it on there. It's like honey sweet chai vitality. So I made something for someone. I think I'll wrap that up right now while we're waiting for that to dry. Hold on, be right back. It's true. So I have a client customer? Maybe it's a customer because they bought it on Etsy. And so they bought a print of this, but a different one, like the original one that I did. And so I didn't have access to printing. I could have asked my buddy, but it just didn't seem like the right idea. And so I ended up on the back of an old painting, just repainting them a cute little one. It's really fun. And then this is from my buddy, Darcy. Trash Hackers Collective. It's a gem that they made out of plastic. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to send it also. And then this is my like regular stickers. Work hard, make art and music. Should be here. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to send those too. And then this is a seed thing. We got seeds. And so, you know. So I'm just going to wrap it all up and send it to them so that they get like a little bit more fun of a treat, you know, not just, I mean, they get an original, but, and you can't normally do that. Like you can't normally make people a little original painting, because that took me like a week and a half, not like concentrated time. It wasn't like, oh God, it was a week and a half of concentrated time working on this process, but making an original, even a mimic original, was like, is a different experience. I'd never done it, so I wanted to try it, but it was kind of fun to see the change of what was happening with it, you know? I was like, interesting. And I have this cute little fox tape that I was going to use. And I think I'll get away with it. I mean, right, you're not supposed to, don't wrap stuff like this for the mail. Nobody likes this, aka our mail people. But I think because my tape is cute, and that they'll be okay with it. We'll see. Worst comes to worst, it's going to go in another thing, and then they get a cute random package. What do you think about that? B got me this tape. Why are you being weird, tape? It says you left me in the sun. You're a bitch. Oh god, rude, tape. You ever have your inanimate objects in your house insult you? Because you totally shouldn't. You should definitely not allow that. Yes. Oh, it's working now. When? Cute box tape. Oh my god, this is cute. Let's see if this holds at all. That like papery tape. Probably I should have gone with like duct tape. Doesn't that just seem like funnier though? Little dude and I have been using a bunch of purple duct tape. That's really fun. Like, kids love tape. It's awesome, in my opinion. So you know, when you buy shit from artists, we hand wrap it awkwardly, but we're very friendly. We swear. No, this is our lives. That's cute. Gonna put a hand stamp on it because that's important. It's like a giant letter. I love letters. I made a Patreon and it's been going for a couple of years. You know, like it has had people on and off. I've had one incredibly loyal client. Client is the wrong term. I had one incredibly loyal friend, and as an artist, like the people who buy your shit are your buddies. Like that's who gets your shit. So I know that. And so it's been going on and off for a while, but the whole reason I made the Patreon was so I could make people cool mail. Like this is not a very good representation of my wrapping skill ability. I got some wrapping skill ability, and this is just me wanting to use what was on my desk. And I saw Darcy had this. But I just wanted to write people mail. I wanted to make them mail with art in it. I wanted them to be excited. I should do zines. I'm probably going to do digital zines soon because I have a bunch of sketchbooks, and I was just going to do like a junk drawer zine. So people could download for like between $3 and $5 probably. A digital zine of cuteness that they could interact with, you know? And like, hey, you stay down. You're not allowed to be the tape if you don't stay. I don't care if you're just decorative. You need to be good tape. That's my opinion. You need to be quality. Just be quality. Right? Anybody else feel like that? Just be fucking quality. Perfect incoming, but we be all right. Sounds about right. Isn't that cute? That's cute. We'll see. This might need taped more. Dawn, I am going to be sending you the cutest little package so soon. And if I have stickers. Hold on, I might go here. I got labels. You can use labels. I got a Sharpie. Oh, they're little tiny. Ooh, what should we write on them? About you deserve good things. What should we do? We should write a poem. Ooh, what kind of poem? Let's look up. I have a favorite poem. Whoa, these don't stick that well. Thanks so much for shopping with us. I think a poem. I think it needs to be a poem. Yep. Don't have stickers, but I definitely have white labels. Who knows why? They're probably supposed to be address labels. There's this place in Portland called Scrap that you can get a bunch of stuff. Hey, you stay down. This is so going to turn into one of my mom's packages. What my mom does is she'll decorate packages, and we all have something that like really influences us, right? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write individual words, and then those can become a poem. Yeah. I'll just pick those words, and then there will be a poem after that. Alex would love that. It'd be really cute. I'm totally going to use real clear tape on this because fuck this shit. This will be the most taped package ever when we're done. Okay. Ooh, I got pink. Does it work? Yes, it does. Seeds. Stop. Stay down. Stay down. How about seeds? Growth. Seeds grow. Fire burns. Change. Change can hurt. Can hurt. Bloom. Bloom for yourself. I like that. Nice. Now my handwriting, most people can't read this, so I gotta be. Seeds grow, fire burns, change can hurt. Bloom. I'm gonna put bloom. Bloom self. I like that. That's cute. I'm gonna go get some tape. We're gonna call this package good because I can't write their address on it with you here. It's illegal. Honestly, this is a ridiculously silly but very useful example of what the junk drawer zine feels like to me. When I think about it, you know? I'm like, yelp. This is definitely the packaging that would happen. What do we have in the house? We could make this efficient, but no, we just make it made up. I think frequently about having a handmade life, and that's something that's like almost out of this tape. I'm gonna see how far we can stretch it. Yes, it's not so bad. Change can hurt. Bloom for yourself. That's sweet. I like it. Probably mail in another thing. Anyways, I like the idea of that stuff. This is almost ready to go again. So, thinking about it, I think that because the heart in general is this like pink color, it might be a good idea to see what I can pull up from it and let it, like here. Yep. So with watercolor, one of the things you can do is you can pull stuff up like this. From thick, dark areas. Like here. Move that away. And so this piece is about like hearts are a big thing with me. They come up over and over again, and like when I was little, I was born with a hole in my heart, and so I've had heart surgery when I was little, and my heart's been outside of my body, and I think that that's really like informed my art massively. You know, as far as stuff goes, like things like that inform our work. Like everything we do has potential for inspiration, you know? It's really a thing. So I don't know that people acknowledge that as much as they could. You know, I think people want to, there's this idea, I think people want to just believe that they are the essence of their work. And I think our lives are the essence of our work. When I discovered the concept that, so I've always painted with friends in my head. Like, there were always people in my head that interacted with me while I was hanging out and painting, because I used painting as a chronic pain technique. When I was younger, I got really, really bad migraines, and because I had heart surgery, I didn't grow right, my body-wise. And so I'm also, like, my whole family's redhead. So we don't do that well with, like, painkillers don't always work that well for us. And so, and as I've aged, you know, like, ibuprofen just makes my stomach fucking hurt. If you take enough of it, you're like, fuck that shit. So painting always, like, located me, both in my body and in the process of what I was doing. And so when I discovered the concept of a genius, so a genius is not something, like, I am not a genius. A genius is something that would visit an artist and give them inspiration. And if the piece works out, you're like, blame the genius. And if the piece doesn't work out, you're also like, blame the genius. You know, it's not my fault. I didn't come up with it, you know? And so it's like this great, but it feels very real. Like, in Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, there's this concept in Elizabeth Gilbert's work that ideas come to us, you know, and she's talking about it from other artists' work, and I agree so much. But like an idea will jump into your head, and you can either follow that idea to its end, to whatever end you can do, you know, do your best ability, or you can say no to the idea. And the fact that you can say no is an incredibly powerful privilege in my world. Like, I have started to say no to ideas and just been like, that's not for me, babe. Like, go see this person. And then the idea just leaves. And before that, the ideas would just stay around and like literally hammer at my brain. And I didn't like that. That was like way too much for me. But I mean, all I did was like create then. It's like productivity, go, go, go. And since reading her book, it allowed me to be like, you know what? Egyptian queens, not my thing. Like, I think it's really cool and I could do it, but I have this other artist that what they paint is Egyptian queens. Why don't you go visit them? You know? And it worked. You know, like they went and visited them and like, you're like, oh, like, wow, like their Instagram shows that that's what they're thinking about. You know, and they were thinking about that anyways, but it's just cool to see that stuff and see, you know, like what could work in regards to those things. It's still a bit wet, so I'm not sure that I can come on top of it and just allow it to, that it won't leak in. Did you see what happened? So it's 9:30. Cool. I could do the brown. The brown would be okay if it leaked. Let's throw in a little bit of orange. Okay, so I'm moving from my flat one to a super cheap Artist Loft, like whatever, flat point. Chisel. See it better here? Yeah, just a basic little chisel. Use an orange for this process. So I just kind of dab for this part. When you're dabbing, think about where you want your light to be. Because with watercolor, you don't come back. I mean, you can come back on top of it and do a white pen, but it's not the same. And bark reflects light in interesting ways. You can darken, but bark has a lot of texture. You know, and my light is coming from here. In general, my light comes from the left, like top left. And in a tree, there's a lot of this like shadow here because of the, because of all the leaves. But there's dappling in the actual branches in a way that I don't think we think about. It's another reason why studying things in real life, phenomenal. You just watch something in real life, it's just like, oh, yeah, I get you. And then it will inform the rest of your work. I really wanted to do plein air painting with gouache. I haven't gotten out into the world to do it, but I really wanted to. It'd be super fun. It's a fire tree right now. Fuck yeah, fire tree. And then this part right here is going to be the lightest. See? Right there? About like that. I've kind of laid it in with the heart stuff, but you're going to still want textures. Keep your hand off your painting. Mine's dry enough, but you will fuck it up if you don't. And then on the other side, it's going to also, there's going to be an extra light because again, it's going to come in, even if it's coming from the side, it's still going to come from the other side because it's outside. So just be aware of that when you're doing it. Like, it's not going to be as intense as from the other side, and it could be very dark if it was during the day, but there's going to still be like light coming from that side. See that? Like that. And you flatten your chisel when you're doing the shadow parts. See the difference? Yep. Seriously, dude. Berenstain Bears. I see them and Dr. Seuss in my work all the freaking time. I'm like, okay, you can do better. I'm like, yeah, but they look so cool. No, you can do better. Come on, practice. And then we're going to leak it down a little, even though it's heart. We want it to have some, like, you know? So glad I have a day off. Like hanging out with the tinies takes so much effort. One of the reasons I was like, you'd think, I mean, tattooing takes, everything we do takes effort, you know? But the little dude that I'm hanging out with right now, he is just having to go through so much emotional work right now. And it's a lot of work to hold space when somebody else is going through emotional work. And so with kids, it can be really fun. And I love them. I love this one particularly. Like he's high on the favorites list. I'm going to put a little bit of orange in here just because, not because the heart really has it, but because artistic liberty and it will ground it more. So a bit there, and in 3 places usually is enough. So we got it up here at the top. We want it in the main body and a little bit right there. It lets it like echo the rest of the piece. And just trust what you're going to do. Because I mean, like, right, like I say, put it here and here. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to put it here as well. It's just part of watching the piece, you know? Cool. And now let's do some green. So I'm going to do some really light green and wash it in there. I'm going to do some dark green because I can. On the top. I'm going to flip it. First, I'm going to get my thing all wet. Now, when you're doing really light green, do it on the outside and then a little bit here, is my opinions. You can also let that just be like this, like do the white, but at the base of it, I'm going to do green. So red and green, pink and green, can really merge together and become a brown. So what we're doing is dabbing, not wiping. Make sense? If you dab, then if it's dry, it will probably not leak as much together. But if you wipe, it will become part of it. What you doing, Dirty? Dee might have woken up. Eminem and Jesse Reyes are doing a one called Coffin. Not particularly impressed, gonna skip it. Sorry, Eminem, but you dumb. Like, I like you, but like, fuck off. Make $1 million. Okay, so see here, this top, make sure you leave white at the bit. Yep. $1 million. Full. I think I'm gonna do a speed painting studio day. I recorded like some videos last week that I just want to make into speed paintings with good music. You know, like running around doing stuff. With lighter colors like I'm using right now. Upside down means you need to pay more attention to where you're placing things, but I feel like since I tattoo, this isn't such a big deal, but for you it might be. So remember, light at the top. So if you need to mark that down, fucking mark that down. It's great, mark it, right? Light at the top, especially over here. This is high on the, right here. Defeated. Hope I'm defeated. I'm holding the brush upright and just dabbing. Trust. Everything is nothing without you. And you've already knocked in the background colors, the darks, so you know where those are. So this green can be your mid-tone, and the white can be your light. Freaking cool is that? In tattooing, we can put in white, but we don't have white. Skin isn't like white. It's pigmented. It's very much like doing a wash and then painting on top of that. Ooh, I don't think this is as light as it wants to be. Okay, and then look at it. Yep. Now, turn back around. Okay, this needs to be filled in. So because we're doing simple, again, filling that in and making it not so, whoa, light. It's cool. When you're going for realism, like details are like a thing. And I hardly ever go for realism. I do need to practice it more because that's one of the things. The more I practice realism, the better my work period becomes. So if you like realism and you enjoy practicing it, fuck yeah. I just don't, you know? It's like it's not my joy, which doesn't mean I don't need to do it. It just isn't exciting for me. Okay, new song. Who are we going to listen to? How about, who do I like? Oh, yeah, Dresden Dolls. Yeah. Amanda Palmer sounds great. Dresden Dolls. Yep, we're gonna listen to them. That sounds great to me. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. What are the community guidelines, yo? I don't even know. Okay, and now I'm gonna move into the dark green because we can. We're here, we might as well. If y'all get the chance, listen to Amanda Palmer. This bitch is incredible. Okay. I made mine rather wet, so I'm actually densifying it right now. Densifying. Definitely a Finn word. And now I'm going to come in and do the dabbing. The same idea as I did before, but we're going to let some of the red leak through. Because we put the red there, so let's fucking keep it. We're experimenting. We want to see what happens. We like it. Here, Darcy, I want to play. I'm going to go bother them soon. As soon as I throw this in. Maybe. Oh, that's fun. I like that. See how that's coming through? Yes. Win for us. All the S's in my head. I like to tell people that when I'm saying we, it's all of my we's. Yeah, I got some we's. Yes. Amanda Palmer married like my favorite fantasy writer. Amanda Palmer is incredible. It's like if you look at them, you're like, wow, I'm so glad they found each other. They seem to suit. They're like one of the few couples that I'm like, yep, I vote yay, they win. Not because Probably because they seem so like people. They don't seem like celebrities to my brain. Like, no, they're amazing. They're great. Fuck yeah. I really like what's happening here. This was a good idea. It's interesting to try new things on camera. Maybe not as interesting for y'all, but it's interesting for me. I get to see what happens. I get to see the process of it. I record. I don't record. I take pictures of a lot of my work, and then I like. What do you do with the pictures? You just watch the process. But watching the process like this is something that's kind of nice. I can just relax and watch what I do. It's very similar to when dancers are dancing and they're like adapting, or aerialists are watching themselves move. When we take video of what we're doing, it offers this incredible opportunity to bump our growth up, because we're not only learning while we do the process, which is part of the 10,000 hours, right? The 10,000 hours is doing the damn thing. We're also being able to sit back and observe, which is what we need community and mentors and things like that for. I like that. Okay, that's the spot. And then we're going to have to let this dry. I'm not going to be able to, I'm kind of out of umph for video, but also like this is going to have to dry to do anything else now. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. It's 9:49. We started at like 8:30. An hour in. Win. Bye.